You ready, homie?
You're tuning in to Trade Talk Radio, your source for news, music, finding literacy, and so much more. Bringing you that dope content and raw truth.
Let's get into it.
Trade Talk Radio, going live in your ear. Let's do it.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is Trade Talk Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in to Trade Talk Radio. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Don't forget to tell us how you feel at the bottom of the video in the description. You can always comment. And we have a lovely young lady here today, Crystal Johnson. So glad to have her. Go ahead and speak to the people, Crystal. Go ahead. Hey, how y'all doing? Doing awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we had to take her through a rehearsal process so she won't be so nervous. So it's just like a conversation. I know a lot of people first time doing stuff like this, they get a little nervous. So we got to break the ice a little bit. And I believe that we did that. So now that we're moving forward into Crystal Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. So, Crystal, tell us something about yourself. Go ahead. We want to hear it.
Well, my name is Crystal Johnson. I am 33 years old. I am on dialysis. I go to church. My parents are still living. They are the inspiration to why I am the woman I am today. So, that's about it.
That is great. You go to church. Your parents and all of them, they doing good. They are alive. That is so awesome. Yes. What about your father? Is your father's alive?
My father is still alive. Awesome. Kenneth James. Shout out to Kenneth James. He's my daddy. I love my daddy. He is still alive. He's in Louisiana. My stepmom is Sharon. And I also have a stepdad that's in my life as well, James Kemp. So shout out to my dads. I love y'all so much.
How many people you know out there that got two daddies? She got two daddies. Only
blessed with
two daddies. Blessed. That's all we can say at this moment. So, Crystal, what I want to enlighten the people with what you go through on a daily basis, what a lot of people don't go through, but so many does, because we know that this is a situation that, especially in the black community, it kind of plagues the black community a lot, and it goes silent. And so many people that we know and we don't know that goes through what you go through, especially with dialysis. Of course, I had a grandmother who went through the same thing. And we watched my grandmother come out, and also recovered and undercovered. But you is a whole lot different from what we see when it comes to this whole thing. How many people you can just know that I have known? Because I think the concept of dialysis patients, crippled down, tired, they look old. But you look like you 15. How old are you?
33.
33 years old, looking young, looking pretty, and I mean that's something to be proud of. So right. How do you cope with being on dialysis?
Well, first of all, I cope with prayer. That's my first, and God, because without him I wouldn't have made it through everything, half of the stuff that I made it through, all the stuff I made it through. So glory has to go to him, because that's my first priority, is to worship him, is to love on him, because he's the one that gets me through dialysis. And prayer is the key to maintaining your strength, to maintaining your humility, to maintain it, because if you don't pray, a lot of people go through things in situations like this, and it makes them angry, it makes them bitter, it makes them arrogant. But, there is another way to cope with being on dialysis, and that's, just through prayer, keeping your head above water, making sure that that's the first person that you talk to every moment, when you wake up in the morning, let that be the first person that you talk to every morning to get you through your day.
That is beautiful. So prayer is a great thing, especially when you're going through things and going through what you've been going through.
Right.
Prayer is something that a lot of people are getting away from because they becoming what we would call non-believers in prayer.
Right.
And we see here as a walking and living testimony of someone who endured and enduring conflict and different things like that. And I believe you just lost your grandmother.
Yes.
A very precious thing to you, but we're gonna get to that. So what I want to talk about is also the process of you going through what you went through or going through with dialysis. How did this come about? What happened in the process of you going through this? What took you to this point, even being on dialysis?
Well, when you growing up, when you come out the womb, you're feeding off your mother's, milk. But as you grow up, you start to eat what you want to eat, and you eating on hot chips, and, thinking that it's not doing nothing, not really thinking at all. I'm just grabbing a snack, eating a meal, not realizing, your ladder, you end up harming yourself. So, in my teenage years, I just, ate what I wanted to eat, did what I wanted to do, and that was that, not realizing that it was going to harm me in the long run. And so, with that, it developed high blood pressure and sugar diabetes and, stuff like that. So, all those years, I was diagnosed with dialysis, with kidney failure when I was 27 years old.
Wow. So,
all those years, from me being born up until 27 years old, I was eating what I wanted to eat, not really thinking that it was harming me. But when I began to get sick, I started kind of noticing, and my mama she really noticed, that I was sick at the time. And, she was the one that made me get up and go to the hospital, and I'm glad I did, go to the hospital because my life was on the line. It was bad. And so that's when they diagnosed me with kidney failure, 2014. And so, through that process, I knew right then and there that once I got on dialysis, it was time to learn, sit still, and let's take this test and see, the outcome of it. So.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, very powerful testimony of that, and you. Your mom, knowing who you are and noticing the change in the process of that, and you say that what touch home is you ate what you wanted to eat. You did what you want to do, and we don't think about that stuff as being youngsters.
Right.
Hot chips.
Right,
I'm
right.
so against those things, and but I know a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I know your babies out there love some hot
love it.
chips.
Yes.
But the long run, I read about hot chips one time, and some of the stuff, the mixtures and the chemistry of some of that stuff, it is so bad for the body, and also a lot of kids don't know the reason why they eating it. Some of the stuff they put in it have a
Right.
chemical that makes the child actually addicted to it.
Wow.
And they never think about that. And that's why as parents, we have to make sure that our children are being watched when they're eating all this fun goodies
Right,
and different stuff like that. So tell us this, in the midst of dialysis, you were in a marriage.
Yes.
Okay. All right. You were in a marriage. She was married. Oh my goodness. Wasn't it beautiful? Tell the truth and shame Satan.
Listen. It was beautiful on the outside.
Wow.
But on the inside, it was ugly.
Oh wow.
So, when God, when you put yourself in a situation, first of all, when you put yourself in a situation, there comes a time when if God didn't put you in that situation, He gonna tear it up.
Yeah.
He gonna tear it up.
Right. Right.
And we have to look at it as that. Everything ain't the devil.
That's right.
He's trying to pull us away from something that we put ourselves in. And so during that time, we started out young and fun and excited, and but when it came time to that part of the vow where it says, in sickness or in health,
Right.
that's when it got,
Right.
And so a lot took place in my first marriage, and, I learned a lot. I learned a lot. It caused me to learn a lot about Crystal. Not about nobody else. It caused me to learn a lot about Crystal.
That's right.
And so, in that marriage, I took what was taking place and I learned from it. And I learned not to do certain things and to do certain things, when it comes down to a marriage, because marriage is sacred. It's serious. That's something that you can't play with. So when those vows are being spoken, you have to realize that you're just not talking out the side of your neck. You quoting something that's personal. It's a contract. It's a commitment. And so I learned a lot. Being in that marriage, and when I got sick, that's when it really hit me. So I was going through so much to where I had to come aside. I had to come aside and find out who Crystal was, because that wasn't it. And it's okay to admit that wasn't it. It's okay. We all fail. We all fall. We all have to learn. God have to teach you how to be a wife before you become a wife.
That's right.
He has to teach you, how to become a mother before you could become a mother. You got to take in somebody else's child.
That's right.
I have 4 siblings. And sometimes I feel I might be the big sister, but I feel like I'm mama sometimes.
That's right.
And so that marriage, it lasted, for the time that it did lasted, and I learned a lot, and
let me ask you this. Now, you going through what you're going through medically and in your body, and being married, and have to go through a divorce in the marriage, how could he even put himself in a position to even leave you in such a place?
Well, when you don't have a relationship with God, it's impossible for you to have a relationship with your spouse, your children. You have to have a relationship with God first. You have to know how to treat God first in order to know how to treat your spouse. And that's one thing that we failed at, that we thought we had a relationship with God, but we didn't. We were young. We were just doing what we thought was right.
That's right.
And so until it became real to where, we begin, I can speak for myself, that I begin to build a relationship with God. That's when I begin to find out, everything that I was doing wrong, what I was doing right, what I had to fix, what I had to work on, so that's
I understand. Relationship with God is what is very absolutely important,
right,
when you're dealing with something like this, especially, going through that process of being married. And folks these days don't hold on no more. I don't think they know how to work it out no more.
No.
Hey, I'm guilty of doing that. And as you get older, you started finding that you have to learn how to work things out, and try to get it right, especially if that marriage is intertwined with God.
Right.
And I know that God is the substance of everything, and he is the root of keeping the relationship held up in place.
Right.
But we make mistakes, we humans, and bad decisions and stuff like that. So do you have a plan on getting back in that thing, or what? Tell the truth, don't lie to me.
Yes, I do. I'm just a person who.
Why you want to get back in it when you've been through all that you've been through?
I'm a person that don't give up so easily. I love.
Oh my goodness! Talk back to me.
I love love. I'm just a loving person. And if I can give love, that's what I will. That's what I do. I tell people all the time. I say, listen, I may not have no money for you. I may not, can do this and do that, but I got ears, I got a mouth, I got eyes, I got knees, I can pray, whatever,
That's right. That's right.
So I'm that type of person. I'm not gonna allow one person to cause me to give up on love so easily. You're not that big, you're not that bad.
That's right. That's right. Not giving up. You're not that big and you're not that bad.
No.
Giving up. There's no need to be giving up.
No, there's no need.
So you wanna jump back in that thing.
I do.
Okay, in that ship, in that
Yes,
rocket boat.
I do.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Love is good. Love is kind. It's patient. If you love me, you'll feed my what?
You
Sheep.
feed my sheep?
Can you cook?
Yes.
Talk back to me. You know how to
yes.
cook. What's your favorite meal? Now you got to tell me your favorite meal. Don't be out here lying to the people.
Okay. My daddy gonna agree with this.
Come on,
This
Daddy.
is both our favorite meals.
Come on.
Crawfish etouffee
There you go.
over some rice.
Mm-hmm.
Side of potato salad.
Okay.
Some peas.
Some good peas.
Some good old fried fish.
Fried fish.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So you
my meal.
sound like
Some green.
like,
I love mustard greens.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Uh-huh.
So you got some Louisiana in you.
I do.
Tell us about it.
My grandmother is from Louisiana.
Okay.
Virgin May Montgomery. She was from Louisiana. My mom born in Louisiana. I was born in Louisiana. My whole family is in Louisiana, pretty much.
The whole family in Louisiana.
The whole family. I got some in, St. Louis. Got some in just different places. But the main meat of it, Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Yes.
And that's why you know how to do some of that good Louisiana cooking.
Yes, my mama. Ooh, I used to
We're
love
going to have
being
to
in the
get
kitchen.
you on the show to cook something. Do we need to do a show for you just cooking? You can't find
Look.
women no more that can cook. They don't cook like that no more.
That's
I mean,
my
they
happy
cook,
place.
everything is mostly nachos and cheese, and noodles and
Right.
wieners and
But you got to cut up
pickles and
some
bread.
onions and bell pepper and celery and all that.
All that good
Ooh,
stuff.
all that
That's
good
what I'm
stuff.
talking about. I'm
Yes.
hungry already, yeah. What's it is, Wednesday?
Don't you do it? Mama gonna get you. You know she gonna see it. She gonna see it.
I know that's right. I already know how that goes. So now I'm just trying to make sure what today is, so we can go ahead and put a show together where you cook some of this Louisiana good cooking,
See.
and we can do some things. Do you bake? Do you do cakes? Do you pies and
I do
cookies?
Pies.
Come
I
on.
do cakes. I'm not perfect at everything. Listen, I'm not perfect at everything, but I will get in that kitchen and do a little something.
I know that's right.
Yes.
Isn't it so beautiful when you find somebody that knows how to do these things, that
Yes.
know how to cook, that knows now I got to ask you this because this is a part of the conversation.
Okay.
Now that you can cook, now that you can clean, now that you do it, can you be submissive?
Yes, I can.
Wait a minute, you took too long. What happened?
No,
What
I
happened?
can.
Do the
I was
submissive
la-
woman even exist?
I was laughing. No, it does. The submissive women does exist. Listen, I learned how to be submissive from my mama. My mama, I didn't see her with 4, 5 different 6 and 10 men coming in and out her house. Not at all. So I've learned how to be submissive. It took me a minute. But when you desire something from God, trust me, you'll know how to submit.
There you go. There you go. Submission is one of the key things. And a lot of people get this whole submission thing all twisted up and messed up, especially men. A lot of men feel like, hey, I need a woman that's going to submit to me, but wait a minute. A woman got to have something to submit to. And so many guys, looking for that, and they forget about, in the Bible, it says submit one to who? Another. You submit yourselves to one another, and submission is not a one-way street.
Right.
Submission is a together street. So just because you're the man of the house, I already know I'm going to lose some subscribers, I'm going to lose some likes, but because you're the man of the house, that does not mean that you can just run over what she says because her word matter. Do your word matter sometimes?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so you know what you're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it.
Come on, then. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of good. That's kind of good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
She know what she talking about when she talking about it.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you go to church often? Sometimes a little bit, or is it is it part of your life?
It's my lifestyle.
Talk back to us.
I go to church as often as I can. When I first started dialysis, I remember I was going through so much, and I would go to the church and pray. Well, my mama, that's what she taught us how to do. That's how she taught us how to fight. You know, my mama went through something one time when I remember when me and my sister, we were teenagers, and she went through something one time, and it was bad, you know. But she left us home. She said, I'll be back. I'm going to the church. And she would go shut herself in the church, and she would pray, and the Lord would move. He will move.
That is awesome.
And so that is how I learned how to fight. You know, I fight through prayer. You know, that's what gets me through every situation. I don't have to, you know, put my hands on you. I ain't got to do all that. All I got to do is just put you in the Lord's hands and leave you there.
That's right.
And
that's
that's
right.
and that's that.
That's just what it is.
It is what it is.
That's just what it is. What it is. That is a great thing. Spirituality plays such a big part, especially in the lives of many people,
Right.
and it should play a part, you know, in your life. Being spiritual is an awesome thing because you're able to make that connection, not just with God, but also with people. A lot of people love God more than they love people. Y'all not saying nothing.
It's true.
A lot of people love God more than they love people.
Yeah.
And when you learn how to understand that God is a man like you and I, he's of course in the same image. You know, when you learn that kind of stuff, you will find out that your spiritual walk is absolutely important, especially going through what we are going through. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Crystal Johnson, and she is a warrior. She's a fighter, and that makes her different from a whole lot of stuff and a whole lot of folks, because I know some folks who ain't worth $2, but we thank God that we found a young lady on this show that's worth $5. Ain't that a blessing before God? That is so awesome to find somebody that's worth $5. Look like we're moving on up, and eventually she's gonna be worth about $8. Ain't God good? That's called advancement.
Then I'll be up in the hundreds.
She's gonna be the 700. We hope to get to the billions.
Come on, let's take a whole leap.
I know that's right. So
Yes.
that is beautiful. And I love the story about your mom. Your mom has took on foster children,
Yeah, she
and full time all the time. So this is a family of love, especially
Yes.
at your house. It's a house of love. So what's with the whole foster children situation?
Now listen, we wasn't expecting these children to come, but they came, and they came suddenly. And so, you know, people will always ask me, well, by the way, I am biologically the only child of my mother. So people would ask me, you know, how do you feel, you know, with the kids? And I'm like, well, I was in practice when my mom took my sister in, my oldest sister.
Okay.
So when she first came in, you know, I knew it. I felt some type of way. You know, we always, as young children, we don't understand our feelings, and sometimes we feel some type of way because somebody is moving in on our territory. But I knew better. You know, I knew not to. You know, we had our little hidden fights, but we knew not to let Mama see it.
That's right.
And so my sister and I developed a very beautiful relationship. Shout out to Miss Letitia Bostic.
Come on now.
Yes, me and my sister have such a beautiful relationship, and I love her so much. So her coming into my life helped me to accept the younger four, because it can be a handful, and the Lord has really changed them, but they were a handful, you know, taking in kids that didn't come from your seed, your loins, you know. It's a challenge when you taking in somebody else's kid, because you don't know what type of spirits they dealt with.
That's right.
You know, all the trauma they done dealt with, you know. So it was a challenge, but God is amazing. You know, for my mom to take in those kids, It not only did God do it for her, but He did it for me, to help me, because I don't have any kids just of yet. But having those kids in my life has taught me, how to, because I watch my mother. I'm big sister, but I watch my mother and how she treats them and how she handles them, and they love her.
Yeah.
They love her.
Wow, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. And that's basically what this video is about. This recording, this broadcast, it is about showing people that there are women out there who literally doing the work, and just not about just the talk.
Right.
There are so many people that's just about the talk and they're not doing the work. So today we showed you how she was confronted with situations medically. We showed you how she came out of a relationship that didn't work and God was there for her. Prayer life, come from a mother that took care of some foster kids, love her father. I mean, come on now. What kind of woman should a man even expect with all of that, and can cook and can clean and can dress and can wear that makeup real good? Look at that right there. I mean, ain't God good? I mean,
Won't He do it?
He will do it every single time. So ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and clap your hands for Crystal. Give her a really, really big... Oh yes, thank you so much for being a part of this show. Crystal got some stuff that she gonna do. She gonna write a book, whether she like it or not. She's gonna write a book. She's gonna get her story out. She's gonna tell her testimony, not just to your friends and your family, but also to the world,
Right.
so that everybody can know what you've been through, how you came through it, and that is the most blessed thing about it. Crystal, thank you.
No problem.
We appreciate you.
Anytime.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Don't forget to hit.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. We'll be back again. See you guys in just a little bit.
Your daily
Peace
dose
out.
of inspiration.
We out of here. See ya.